Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day. I'm your host with a beard, and this time I am reviewing the all-new 2021 Jaguar I Pace, the fully electric vehicle from Jaguar. Pretty excited for this one, as this is my first review of an EV. I got a car for the weekend, so I can get to know it and see how it drives in different conditions and different roads. And I'm on my way to pick it up right now and see you guys in the review.
First of all, I would like to thank Jaguar Land Rover Salens Motors for providing me with this car and making this video possible. I will put their website and their link to their Instagram down below, so be sure to go and check them out. Alright, so checking out the exterior of the 2021 Jaguar I Pace, we can see a pretty cutting edge design. It has kind of an aggressive front end, flanked by these full LED headlights with the signature double J-shaped daytime running lights. They really look good, and they are extremely bright at night and do illuminate the road quite well, almost as if it was a daylight. They also follow the bends and don't blind the opposing cars that are coming towards you. Underneath the headlights, we can see a kind of a plain bumper with some side vents that are functional, so they're not fake. Air flows through here and then out through the wheel arches behind this bumper. We got a sort of a spoiler lip underneath it, painted in the body color of the car, which gives the car a more full and bold look. The grille obviously is fully fake, as this is an EV and doesn't even need a functional grille. As you can see, it's fully closed here, and all you have is like this front end camera in it. So, looking at the side of the Jaguar I Pace, we see a short nose and a long windshield. This right here is where you can charge the electric battery when it's depleted. So you simply plug in the supercharger or the hypercharger in here. The electrically foldable side mirrors, they have LED turn signals in them, and also a camera as part of the 360-degree top-down view camera system, which looks really good and crisp, but I will show that when I'm doing the interior review of the car. These door handles, they go in and out of the doors when closing or opening the car. We see this more and more on electric cars to help with aerodynamics, and this also makes for a cleaner design. I personally like how the car widens up towards the back, and these tinted windows give it a more aesthetically pleasing look. We do have a spoiler on the back of the car as well, which is functional, as I will explain in a bit. So, moving to the back of the Jaguar I Pace, we can see a more squared off shape, and if we look underneath the car in the back, we see a huge diffuser, which is very functional, as you guys can see by these large fin type of things, which direct the airstream and make the car more aerodynamical as well. The taillight, of course, are also full LED with wide turn signals and the typical Jaguar trademark lights. They're also pretty bright at night and do have like this kind of cool design into them, as you guys can see right here, and they really look dark at night. Obviously you can recognize that this is a Jaguar from far away. Okay, so you guys might have noticed this air vent in the hood right here. This is not to cool down the engine or to look cool, as this car obviously doesn't have an engine, but it is to help with aerodynamics. So air actually flows in here above the fake grille, and it goes through the hood like this and over the windshield, completely following the roof and going all the way to the back of the car and finally entering through this gap in the rear spoiler. It leaves behind the rear window, and this way it provides less drag and some downforce. Alright, so now let's take a look at the interior of the car. Keyless entry, of course. Just press this button to retract the door handle and open the doors. The interior finishing of this Jaguar I Pace is actually of a very high standard. Look at these materials here on the door. These are really, it's kind of a soft touch material, but it resembles leather. I do not know if it's actually leather. I don't think so, but it's of a really high quality, really well built here. This car is equipped with the Meridian sound system, which sounds really, really good. Believe me, I have tried it out. These are your buttons for your locking and unlocking. All these buttons even feel very expensive and of a really good quality, actually. These are not cheap plastics. You got like this soft type of plastic here. These are your window controls. Electrically foldable, of course. The only thing I don't like is this gloss black, which you can see is all over the interior, over here on the other door as well. So I would personally choose another type of trim like silver or some wooden trim. Door handle really firm, well built all the way down here. See, this is kind of a soft kind of plastic, exceptionally well built. Let's close the door. So we have the electric parking brake right here, and this is your front release and your trunk release. A front release because this is an electrical car and it does not have a engine, so you can put stuff in the front as well, which I will demonstrate a bit later. Moving up, this dashboard is again of the highest, most expensive feeling material, really well built actually. Soft touch here as well. This is a different kind of material over here. These vents look really good. The steering wheel is beautiful. These things here light up as you turn on the car, which I will do right now. So check it out, see? So these are basically your controls for the infotainment system or the digital gauge cluster right in front of you. I will demonstrate some of the functions in a bit. So you have your voice control also right here, your Bluetooth phone connectivity. And these are your lane keep assist, your heated steering wheel, and your adaptive cruise control functions right here. These I will also demonstrate on the street. Nice little finishing on this with the chrome, and this is gloss black, but I can understand why they use it here for these buttons. Again, this chrome finish, and it actually feels like real like metal, but I don't think it is. It's kind of a plastic, but really well built, good feeling. Look at this cockpit. 1, 2, 3 screens. This is the future, guys. So many screens in one car. So basically, as you can see, the climate control is a screen as well with 2 knobs on each side. When you press the knob, you go into your heated seating function. So this car has it for the driver as for the passenger. Then you come back. When you pull it, you can set the fan speed of the car, of the climate system of the car. Press it again to go to your temperature mode or your heated seating. This is where you can set where the wind flow is coming from. So above you, like right in front of you, or in your legs, like this. And this is how you turn it off again. You can sync it. You can have the air purified so it doesn't get dirty air into the car. Filters it before it comes in. And again, you can set your heated seats through this screen as well. Look, now you have it all the way on for the driver and for the passenger. Let me turn that off. You see some functions up here as well. These are all touch activated, so like this. There's no haptic feedback or anything, which is a bit of a shame, but they do the job just fine. So here we have the navigation or the infotainment screen of the 2021 Jaguar I Pace. And there are a couple of functions worth mentioning. For example, this will be your most important shortcut on the screen, EV mode or EV. And in here you can go to either charging or energy. When you press energy, you can see how much energy you have left here and the actual range that you can drive. So this is 242 kilometers in my case. If you go to charging, then you see how much the percentage is. That really nice graphics actually, and this shows the percentage of the battery that is charged at the moment. And if you press this button, so this actually says this actually says preheating, pre-cooling of the car. So when you press this button, it's a very handy feature. And say tomorrow, for example, you have to leave at 9:15, right? So you get set the time over here, 9:15. You save this, and tomorrow when you go to the car and you step into the car will have preheated, or when it's cold outside, or pre-cooled when it's hot outside, the car. So you can leave in the ideal circumstances and you don't have to worry about heating up or cooling off the car as you go. This also saves a bit of battery as well. A very handy feature. Now, this menu right here is the low traction launch. So this is very handy for today, because as you can see, it has been snowing all night long and I use this today. So this is low traction mode. If you press this button, then the wheels will start and the car will start into low traction mode. So you do not slip when the road is icy or it has been snowing around your car and it's difficult to leave. Because this car has 400 horsepower and that is a lot. It does have all-wheel drive, but still in very slippery conditions, you cannot trust solely on the all-wheel drive system of any car, that is. A very handy feature as well in this car. Let me show you the surround sound and the top view down camera of this car. As you can see, it is a very high quality. You can look all around the car like this. Look, it's showing everything. This is the exact same car, so when I turn on the blinkers, you can see it. It's turning it on. When I turn the wheels like this, you can see it turning as well. Very nice. And look at this, look at these graphics. This is so real and so crisp, actually. I don't know if it's popping up on the camera really well, because they don't always show what you're seeing in real life, but believe me, the quality of these cameras is so good. Except when they get dirty, of course. Then you have to get out in the cold and clean them, as I had to do this morning. But overall, a very neat and handy system for this car. As you can see, this car also comes equipped with a fully digital gauge cluster, and it is quite customizable to some extent, because you can choose what you want to put on either side of this digital gauge cluster, or power cluster in this case. And let me actually show you. So when you come here, when you press OK, then you will see a menu right there in which you can choose. So you want to go here. So this says information panel to the left and to the right, and when you click on it, then you have different functions that you can put over there on the right. On the left, actually, sorry. So I have driver support information, so it shows me the cruise control and the distance to the car in front of me, and more information like that, which is very handy. And on the right, I have it set to the navigation screen, so I don't have to take my eyes off the road for too long. Another neat feature is that these dome lights here are touch operated like this. Just slightly touch them and they go on. Very nice. The car also comes with a storage space for your glasses or your sunglasses. The door bins are okay in size, not the largest in the industry, but still pretty deep, and you can fit a decent amount of stuff in it. The glove box is okay in size, but we have this large owner's manual that is taking up all the space in here. But if you take it out, you can fit some decent stuff in here. The middle console has a special design with a big hole right through it that goes on to the other side. Here you can put some stuff, your phone or something, or your keys if you don't want to lay them inside. This is kind of rubbery, so nothing will slip. This is also a little space here, and this is also rubbery, actually ideal for your phone or for your keys, so they don't scratch this plastic here and they don't go away. The middle console has some leather on it and goes very deep, actually, so there's plenty of space in here, and it goes all the way over there as well. So It doesn't just go down there, but it's also some space behind there. So I think you can fit a lot of stuff in here. You have USB-C port, a USB port, and a 12-volt socket in here. Extremely handy. Let's close it up. This car has been equipped with the full panoramic roof that extends all the way to the back of the car. Now it's full of snow, so there's not much light coming in through there. But overall, a very nice feature and makes the car look so good. Now let's check the space in the back seats. Doors are decently wide opening. You have pretty easy access. Oh, I gotta watch out that I don't slip out because it's so icy outside. Okay, let's close the door because it's really cold. So, knee room. This seat has been put in my driving position. So, as you can see, knee room is plentiful. And headroom is also very decent. Although this car has been equipped with the panoramic roof, which eats into the headspace a little bit, there is still plenty of headroom for me. I'm between 5'10" and 5'11", and I still have that much left. So I think people around 6 foot will be okay in the back here. The middle seat is going to be a little cramped because, first of all, it's not that high, the middle tunnel here, but still, the middle seat itself is a bit narrow and you still have to put your feet around it, kind of. You can put them up here, but yeah, there's not too much foot space down here. Knee room is okay, but foot space isn't. And your head is almost touching this part of the roof here because there is this like little nudge coming through here. And I have about, yeah, 1.5 finger left between me and the roof, as you can see right here. We have some netting in the seats right here, some door bins. These are pretty small, but so they're going to be okay for keys and little things like that. We have some USB-C sockets and a 12-volt socket right here for charging. So this car comes with another neat feature back here. So watch this black part here as I open the back door of this car. Do you see when it goes on? So this is basically a car with some lines on the left back corner of it. And if it detects like a car coming behind you or a bicycle, then there will be like a danger or a hazard triangle lighting up here, showing you or letting you know that there is someone about to hit the car, so you don't open the door and smack them in the face with it. Taking a look at the boot space of the Jaguar I Pace, obviously the boot lid is fully electrically opened by the key. And as you can see, there is a almost complete flat loading floor. There's no lip over it. And the boot size is actually pretty decent. I think it's about 550 liters if I'm not mistaken. And if you need even more space, then you can fold the rear seats like this to put even more stuff in it, and then the boot space expands to about 1300 liters, obviously fully electrically closed as well. The frunk, or normally where the engine is, you can also put some stuff. Because of the lack of an engine in this electrical vehicle, you have a little storage department in the front of the car. You can't fit a lot of stuff in there, but still some small items and maybe a duffel bag or something. So it's pretty neat to have this. Alright, so you guys might have noticed that this car does not have a gear lever anywhere. How do you put it in gear then? How do you go? Well, simple. You see these 3 or rather 4 buttons here that say D, N, R, P. Obviously these function as the gears. So when you want to go, put it in drive, this is for neutral mode and this is for reversing. So if you press this, you can see that the rear view camera automatically turns on. You can see that our rear view camera is a bit dirty. Well, simply press this over here and it gets cleaned. These are your mode buttons. Like this, you put it in sports mode or dynamic function, as they call it at Jaguar. Then you go up and you have comfort, Eco Pro, rain mode, snow function. So pretty handy features right here. All right, so now let's get this car on the road and see how it drives. Basically, to start it up, it's an EV, but it starts up as any other vehicle. So you put your foot on the brake, you press the start button. There is no sound of any engine, but the digital gauge cluster right in front of you says that it is ready to go. I press drive, and here we go. All right, the first thing I immediately notice is that although the car is elevated, it's kind of an SUV type of vehicle, you do sit quite low, if that makes sense. Like in the car itself, you sit low, and that makes like the dashboard is like really far ahead of you. So it feels like you're sitting like way back. It gives it kind of a sporty feel. The steering wheel feels really nice in your hands. I have the heated function on because it's really cold and it's thawing my hands really nicely. Let's take a turn here. It's very icy and slippery out. So let's see if this four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Yeah, it's got loads of grip. This car is perfect for these type of conditions. That being said, you do notice that the range drops down significantly when the weather is really cold. It's about -3, -4 out now, and the range dropped about 40 kilometers. But that is to be expected from electric vehicles because batteries don't function that well in extreme cold weather. All right, one other thing. Yesterday when I picked up the car, it had a range when it was fully charged of about 352 kilometers, and now it only has 322. So what causes this? Basically, the temperature right now is about -4. Yesterday it was +5, 6 or 7 or something. So it definitely does affect the range of the car the colder it gets, and also the battery depletes way faster when you're driving as well in this weather. So that is something to keep in mind. Alright guys, so I had a bit of trouble with the charger. So the fast charger on that petrol station, it was broken and it wouldn't release this charging cable from the car anymore, and I had to call customer support and whatnot, so it was quite a bit of hassle. And then I discovered this hypercharger here at the airport in the town that I live in, and this charged the car from about 30% all the way up to 100%, as you can see right there, in about 2 hours or less. So that was pretty fast. And now let's get the charger out. Okay, so in case the charger doesn't come out of the car anymore like this, see, there is another trick that you can do. You just pop the trunk, or the frunk in this case, and you have an emergency lever right here. Do you see this? If you pull this, okay, the light just went out. Let me turn on the flash. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So if you pull this little lever here, then it will release the charger from its socket like this. And let's put it back in here. All right, and we are ready to go. The suspension soaks up the bumps really well. It's a nice, comfortable ride. The seats sit well. They provide enough support both down here on your thighs and back here, lumbar support. You have these aggressive side bolsters here that hold you in place when you're taking turns. One thing I do have to say is that the seats are a bit on the firm side. It's nothing too intrusive, but I think on longer journey, 2-3 hours, it's gonna have an effect on your back a little bit. You do have the feeling that you're sitting in a premium car. It is a very luxurious interior. You sit very comfortably. You have enough space for you. You can rest your hand here on the door sill and the other one on the middle console, as it is pretty high. Noise in the cabin isn't that much. You do hear some wind noise from these mirrors and some tire noise coming in through the cabin, but it's nothing too intrusive. All-round visibility in the car isn't the greatest, I must say, because the windows back there are a bit narrow and that big C-pillar behind there obstructs your view quite a bit. The rear window is tilted, so it seems smaller than it is, so you don't have the greatest view back there. But for cruising around town, you have this 3D camera. If you want to squeeze into tight parking spaces or go through narrow streets, you can use the 3D camera, which works great and has nice crisp graphics. So I would definitely go with that option. Power delivery is instant, and this being an electric vehicle, there is no engine revving up, no gears to change. So as soon as you floor the throttle, all 400 horsepower immediately gets released, and it's quite satisfying actually. It just pushes you back in your seat. The all-wheel drive system makes sure that there is no wheel slip or wheel spin while you're accelerating. And I'm going to test it right here. So let's floor it. Whoa. It's very easy to go up to illegal speeds in this car. But flooring the throttle will have quite a significant effect on the range of the electric battery, because yesterday I was testing the car as well, and I floored it quite a bit and the range went down minute after minute. You just see it happen. So you just have to keep that in mind. I want to say this car doesn't entice you to go fast, but it kind of does. Especially if you're someone like me and you like speedy cars. It is quite a sporty drive, this car. It's not like an SUV kind of feeling. It is heavy, you do feel it. It weighs in at about 2,200, 2,300 kilograms. But it still does entice you to drive sporty, because it's just, the accelerator is so responsive, and if you just press it a little bit, you just get up to speed so easily. I'm on the highway now, cruising along nicely. I have it in adaptive cruise control, so the car is currently going 122 kilometers an hour. If there is a car in front of me that goes slower, the Jaguar will slow down automatically. You can set the distance that it stays from the car in front of you, basically the same as any other adaptive cruise control system. So it is pretty good in traffic, this car. If you notice that you are running low on charge, just go to the navigation screen and choose the option where it says EV loading station, and then it will give you all the charging poles and charging stations in the vicinity, and then you can choose just the closest ones, and these are superchargers and fast chargers. So this car basically comes with a 3-stage charging option, which is better than the 1-stage because it can charge at different speeds. So I'm driving on the highway right now, and I discovered another very handy feature in this car. So as you guys all know, this car is equipped with active blind spot monitoring, and I wanted to change lanes. So I wanted to go from the middle to the right lane. The car detected that there was a car behind me, and it actively pushed me back into the middle lane, so in order to prevent a collision. So the steering gave me like little nudges, and it put me back into this lane. Although the car was pretty far behind me, I noticed it because I wasn't just going to change lanes, but the Jaguar thought the car behind us was too close, and it just pulled me back into my own lane, which is a very nice safety feature. And I would like to see this in a lot of cars, because you see a lot of people on the road with high-end luxury cars that have blind spot monitoring who still change lane very close to other cars.